Hey guys, welcome back. In the series of lectures, in order to complete 10th class CBSE biology syllabus, I am uploading a video or taking a live session every day. If you are a 10th class student and want to learn through my lectures, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you would not miss any notification regarding my live sessions and the videos that I upload. Today's topic is about the spore formation from the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce. Let's begin. Here, spore formation occurs widely in Monera, Protista, fungi and algae. Here, Monera are prokaryotes. All prokaryotes are placed in this kingdom. Protista, these are unicellular eukaryotes. Fungi, these are mostly multicellular, terrestrial, undifferentiated organisms, and algae are undifferentiated, simple plants. In all these groups of organisms, spore formation can be seen, and here spores are minute, single-celled, thin or thick-walled propagules released from the parent body. I repeat this statement once again, important. Spores are minute, single-celled, thin or thick-walled propagules released from the parent body. Generally, spores are dispersive in nature and are able to withstand unfavorable environmental conditions, like it can be dryness or it can be extreme heat or it can be cold conditions. So here spores can withstand all these unfavorable environmental conditions and they are dispersive in nature. And here if we look in the next point, during spore formation in fungi, okay, a structure called sporangium develops from the fungal hyphae. You can see in this picture, these are fungal hyphae, okay, all these structures are fungal hyphae, and you can see here sporangium. This structure is what we call sporangium. So during spore formation in fungi, a structure called sporangium develops from the fungal hyphae. These hyphae are thread-like structures. These are thread-like structures. Here you can see this is a thread-like structure, thread-like structure. These are the thread-like structures. So these are called hyphae. So from the hyphae, here you can see sporangium is formed during spore formation in fungi. This is actually a picture of bread mold, or we call rhizopus. Okay, here you can see sporangium is a tiny blob on a stick-like structure which contains cells or spores that can eventually develop into new individuals. You can see this is a tiny blob on a stick-like structure. You can see this is a tiny blob on a stick-like structure. These are the tiny blobs on stick-like structures. These are called sporangia. So inside sporangium, cells or spores are present. Okay, so you can see here these spores are present inside the sporangium. So sporangium is a tiny blob on a stick-like structure which contains cells or spores that can eventually develop into new individuals. Actually, what happens within the sporangium, nucleus undergoes division. It divides several times, and each nucleus with a bit of cytoplasm develops into a spore. So each nucleus with a bit of cytoplasm, okay, then it is forming a spore. So this is how spores are formed inside sporangium. I repeat this once again. Within the sporangium, the nucleus divides several times, and around each newly formed nucleus a bit of cytoplasm will accumulate, and then it develops a spore. It develops into a spore. So like this, inside the sporangium several spores are present, and these spores are covered by thick walls that protect them until they come into contact with moist surface and begin to grow. So this is one of the very important statements. Spores are covered by thick walls, and these thick walls protect the spores until they come into contact with moist surfaces and begin to grow. Okay, here the spores are liberated and they develop into fungal hyphae after reaching the ground or substratum. Here you can see the spores are released. They are dispersive in nature. When they fall on the moist surface, or when they come in contact with the ground or substratum, then these spores, they develop into new fungal hypha. So this is how spore formation is resulting in the formation of new individuals. So spores are a means of perennation. Spores are a means of perennation and not the true means of reproduction. I repeat this statement once again, very important. Okay, spores are a means of perennation and not the true means of reproduction. Okay, so this statement is very important. Spores are a means of perennation. They survive during the unfavorable conditions, so they are the means of perennation but not the true means of reproduction. Okay, so here this is how spores are formed in various organisms like Monera, Protista, fungi and algae, and this one is the example of bread mold rhizopus spore formation. Here in this structure, these filamentous structures are called hyphae, and this is a sporangium. Inside the sporangium, spores are present. They are dispersive in nature. When they are released out, when they come in contact with the moist surface onto the ground or substratum, then they develop as new organisms. So this is about spore formation. This is all about today's session. Thank you all.